Hey, what's up guys, it's Shawzo here, and this is Boston Airport. And I've turned it into a Brotherhood of Steel hospital with a few additions here and there. I've really enjoyed this settlement due to the location, and it's also forced me to build a lot more than usual because it is a very large empty space, but it still is on an existing building, which is nice. You guys know the drill. I'm going to show you how I built the place with a completed tour by the end. Enjoy. The Brotherhood of Steel have taken over Boston Airport, and I feel like they're lacking in some areas. They are definitely in need for a large medical facility for the soldiers on the ground, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But first, there's a lot of cleaning up to do. There's a lot of sofas everywhere, a lot of rubble, pallets here and there. So let's get rid of a few bits. And that's much better. I have kept a few pallets here and there, a few barrels and tyres. It does add to the decoration. Most importantly, I've kept that red carpet because I'm going to be doing something special with that a bit later. We do need to start thinking about putting some walls up, so I'm going to be using the concrete walls for this one, using the pillar glitch of course, and I'm going to bring it to this particular part of the existing wall, keeping it underneath the red bar above and in between the two lines, and we just want to bring it back just until it kisses the wall. This will allow me to build walls either side without any restrictions. So if we just build along, we want to build it all the way down to where the other part of the broken wall is. And then we just want to finish it off with a half wall so it stops perfectly within that existing structure. And the rest is easy. I'm very happy to see this section of the settlement nice and walled up. It's straight within the existing structure. And there's also a nice addition which wasn't even planned. The red carpet goes directly within the entrance I've made up. So if you do start that first wall piece in that particular location, this will happen for you as well. So it's basically the same for the other side, another wall, another pillar glitch. And it's this section of the wall this time. I mean, there's only one bit anyway. And it's the same process, keeping it straight underneath the rail, in between the lines, and just bringing it back till it kisses it. And it's as simple as that, just build along to the next big foundation. Both sides of the settlement are now safe and secure, which I'm really happy with. But now we've got to deal with the front of it, and it's not looking too good to be honest. There's loads of rubble and scrap that you cannot delete, which is a bit annoying, and I want to keep it nice and clean as it's going to be a hospital. So I'm actually going to corner it off right here where the foundation is, using 2 columns and then simply just carrying on the wall in a 90-degree angle. And I'm only going to go 3 across because we don't want to overlap that red carpet. And of course I'll fill in the bottom. I'm very happy to see that the existing foundation is pretty much the same as the other side, so it's the same process again, but it's 2 columns, 3 walls and 1 half wall. So because each side has been put down separately, it's technically not all clipped up together, so there will be an awkward gap right here. But it is an easy fix. We'll just grab ourselves a pillar glitch with the post and we'll bring it towards the gap, finding that sweet spot, making sure it's nice and straight within there. And that's our concrete walls fully up, and I've purposely used these walls because it is the Brotherhood of Steel. I didn't really want to go for that scrappy look. It needs to look half decent and professional. I'm also very happy that the red carpet has yet again gone through the entrance perfectly. Now of course I'm not going to leave this part of the settlement just how it is. It does need a bit of a revamp. It needs some kind of defence because this is facing directly towards the wasteland. And I do need a little bit of scrappiness in my life, so we will be putting some junk walls as a defence barrier. Obviously using the foundation where it curves round, that's going to be my marker point. So I'm going to grab myself a junk wall using the pillar again, and I'm going to bring it towards where this existing wall sticks out a bit and just cover the majority of it. And then right next to it, I'm going to use the same wall again, but without the barricade on top, and just pull it in half next to it. And I do want to eventually build to a certain level. I've just done the other side and I'm going to do the rest of it with warehouse walls. So it is going to look scrappy, but not too scrappy. There's going to be a solid kind of look to it. This is the best I can do for that kind of Brotherhood of Steel look. So yeah, I'm going to finish that off. And there we go. I don't think that looks too bad actually. It blends in very well with our concrete walls. But I'm not done there. I'm going to add some platforms, and luckily they glitch into each other at an angle. And I'm going to put down a set of stairs and we're going to stabilise the platform a bit. Of course, this is going to be a defence platform for all the soldiers or maybe some turrets. So now that's all supported, we're going to put some barricades up that I've got ready here. Again, I feel like this is the best kind of barricade to suit the Brotherhood of Steel's style. There's nothing else really in the workshop. That's if you're not using any mods, obviously. So I've just finished up on the other side, and it does need a little something within this boundary. So I'm going to put a shelter with some colour, maybe for some ammunition or a place to cook up some stuff. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to keep the shelter head height. And I'm going to finish up with the entrance using a garage door, bringing it into the wall and slightly back so I know it's tight up against it. And that's the defence post finished. I don't think it looks too scrappy. Because I've used the same wall, it does give it that kind of solid look. And I'm also loving the extra concrete barricades within it. So now it's time to jump back into where we started, and I definitely want to do something with this red carpet. And it doesn't involve a lot of work actually. I'm simply just going to build alongside it, coming from the entrance. But it is very important that you copy the exact walls I'm putting down in this order. So you want to corner it off with the half one and the column, then building round, and then when you get to the garage you want to put a half wall. It's the exact same thing for this side with that first row of walls. With the left side of the garage you want to start with a column and then a half wall, and then simply carry on as normal until you reach the end. At this point you want to put a half wall and then 3 columns, and then corner it off with this larger wall. And with the other side you want to do the half wall again, using 3 columns, but this time the third column goes into the corner, so you build the wall from this position. And then you just build across either side to the walls that we did earlier. Now I've done this for good reason. This is going to determine how the rooftop is going to sit. Because both sides aren't exactly parallel, it will make things a bit awkward for you later on if you want to put a rooftop. But by doing it this way, it makes it a lot easier. So we can't start from this channel here, we need to start from this section of the wall. So I'm starting with a thick floor piece because they're the only ones you can clip onto the wall. But I actually want the normal floor pieces because the thick ones actually cause issues with the middle channel. So we'll just build up to the other side of the wall using a couple of small pieces over here. And now we can place down the floor pieces directly in the middle of this channel. And there we go, we now have a new rooftop and a dedicated platform for new opportunities. And one of those opportunities is linking this settlement with the rest of the airport, where the Brotherhood of Steel are very much present. So I'm going to be putting down a walk around platform sitting on top of the walls. So I have to put down a thick one in order to put down some little small ones. And I'm simply going to clip on a staircase, which luckily sits very nicely on the floors of which we're standing on. And now I'm going to finish off this platform going across the whole settlement. But there is a little issue when you hit this corner, so we're going to have to put down a thick floor again in order to start a new floor on this side of the wall. Because as we witnessed before, both sides of the walls aren't exactly one build. But it's all okay, it clips through very nicely, it just works. And I'm going to carry on the platform up until we hit this part of the settlement, and I'm having to curve around the platforms like so as it's quite restrictive, and I'm going to go across here in 2s. And we now have a walk around platform for additional defence, which is definitely needed for this side of the settlement. And we now have a platform that links with the rest of the airport, of which now we can put a staircase down. So there's 2 separate ways of getting up, as the 2 platforms aren't exactly linked. And I'm going to cover this massive gap with some shack walls, as it's nice to put some different colours in here and there. I did some finishing touches behind the scenes. I just put some metal barricades just to stop people falling off. But there will be some more protective barriers for the walk around platform for when I decorate the place. And there's loads of potential in these spaces down here, and that's exactly what I'm going to get into. And I'm going to start by opening up this entrance here by deleting 3 walls and 3 barricades. And I'm actually going to get some vault items, believe it or not. And we're going to clip this left section, middle section and the right section, keeping a window either side. And we'll cover up the left and right with a wall with a door in the middle. And we'll pick up the whole thing with the pillar, keeping it as high as possible. And this way we can sink it as much as we want, but we do want to keep it head height. And I'm going to be using the floors that we placed down earlier just as a marker point to keep it straight. As you can see, it bleeds through there. I would save the game before you attempt this because it will take a couple of tries. You want to keep it right up against the floors and in between the 2 walls. So with that in place, I'm now going to add the rest of it because I couldn't have done this all in one as it would have been too tight and awkward. And with that final piece in, it is now finished. As you can see, it's dead straight within the floors that we put down earlier. And it gives the settlement a bit of life, a bit of colour. But I do want to add a little bit of decorations on top. It does seem a bit bare, so I'm going to put these metal racks going along, but it still exposes the red paint, which is good. I'm also going to open up some entrances here and there just to open the courtyards that I've made for myself. I haven't decided on where I'm going to put the staircase for the platform above yet, but you'll see that in the decorations. But overall, that is completed. The settlement is now fixed up. We now have the structure in place ready for decorations. And I cannot wait because I'm going to pack so much into this settlement. I appreciate you guys watching along the build, and I cannot wait to show you the final finished product. But before we get into it, some of you may not know how to lower the budget without using any mods. So you simply just drop a load of weapons, go into build mode and store them. The size bar will go down if you do this. I believe using gamma guns makes the process a bit quicker. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the tour. After countless hours of decorating, it is finally finished. This place is packed with everything you can think of, and I've even got a few cool ideas I want to show you. So let's have a little walk around. Hey, what's up guys, welcome to the tour. And this is the Brotherhood of Steel's hospital at Boston Airport, and it blends in quite well. Bit of a shame you can't use similar kind of architecture as what they've got, but I'm still happy with it. I've done the best I could. So this is one of two entrances. You can enter from the actual airport, or you can enter from here. This is typically for soldiers who come from the wasteland, who've been on missions, and it was quite restrictive out here. I've done the best I could with decorations, and I've made this cool little entrance using weapon racks, and I just filled in any kind of empty space with signs and weapon racks. So we go through, cleanse ourselves of radiation, take our clothes off and get into some new gear. And yeah, I just love how this red carpet looks with this corridor. This was definitely the intention I was kind of looking for. I just wanted big long corridors and having like dedicated courtyards. And I know I said this is like a hospital, but there are some extras. So to the right is a nice little kind of courtyard for a prisoner. They got a toilet, there's a trap, bed with some shelter, and just some entertainment bits and pieces. And as we make our way through, there were these teeny tiny gaps in between the wall and floor. Barely noticeable, but it did annoy me, so I ended up just using weapon racks, and it has added to it actually. And back here is the defense post. And yeah, I just love these concrete barriers. They kind of fill the void in the middle for you, and then you just use your imagination from there. So I've used a couple of sofas. We've got a big couple of crates here for some weapons. Coffee making area. I love putting scrappy armor bits next to armor workbenches. I love these barricade areas. So you've got the upper bit and you've got the below bit. And I've purposely kept the wall with like the hole in. So we have this little section just to see what's lurking about. Just some parts here and there. There's turrets either side on the outside bit of these walls, so defense is really good. Unfortunately, you can't scrap this rubble area. Always annoys me, so you have to adapt to it really. I've just made it into like a turret making area, so typically that's going to be messy. And round here, I've turned this area into a cooking station. I was going to put a power armor station here, but I had other plans for that, which you will see in a bit. So yeah, loads of fish, loads of meat. This is a cozy little corner for a weapons workbench. Goes really well with the flag there. And a couple of helmets. This barricade is pretty much the same as the other side, just different items. Same kind of setup. I didn't go too much on the walls with decorations. Again, I want to keep it nice and professional.
Another day of hard work.
Now this is where the main part is. Down here is just a long corridor with the red carpet, as you can see. And I've wanted to make it look like we're running out of space in the hospital, so we're having to make use of like using beds out here. As you can see, she's not doing too good. There's a couple of benches, fountains, little details like I put cups next to the benches with the fountain. And this is very obviously a clinic. I just love the red wall. It does pop more so than anything else in this corridor, which is what I wanted to go for. And in here is the main medical facility. So we've got some proper dedicated beds. That guy ain't doing too good. They're all named, so these two are doing all right, so they're walking about. We've got the doctor's desk with relevant items on there. I made this bit up. It's just a random thing, just goes well. To the left, this is where they get changed and ready to get into the showers back here. And I've made these showers using like the electrical conduits, and one of them looks like a shower head, and it's really, really cool looking. This puddle was originally here, so it goes really well for this section. I've put a mop, and yeah, it just makes it look realistic. Now, I don't want to have full credit for this little conduit idea. I have seen this done before a few years back. But yeah, it is such a good idea. I can't remember who did it, but yeah, I don't want to take full credit. I have seen it before. But I thought it'd be really cool for this area of the settlement because of the puddle. It just goes pretty well. I've even put a bucket for the soap. There's some plungers here and there. A couple of lockers for where they get changed into new gear. There's a toilet and a sink with some shelter. I've kept the tyres. And yeah, I always love putting plants in rubble of which you can't delete. It does make it feel a bit different instead of just crap everywhere, you know. And this is the engineers section. So one of the reasons why I didn't put the power armors at the front is because, yeah, this is the area for that. There's a couple of benches for those power armors here. There's an armors workbench. I would say this is probably the most untidiest section of the settlement because an engineer's room's never going to be tidy, is it? We've got a place where they work on robots for extra defense, weapons workbench. And yes, you're probably thinking, I did put each and individually one of these into the bucket, and yes, it did take me ages, but it's so worth it for me. Most of you probably don't have the patience for it, but for me, it just adds to it. It adds to the realism. Like, they could be making ammo and they just chuck it in a bucket. You could make it the process a bit quicker. You could put some bulky items underneath and just fill in the top, but I like to make things harder for myself and just spend a good half an hour of my life putting ammo in a bucket, you know.
I'm proud to be serving under Elder Max.
These barrels were already here. Most of you guys know I don't like scrapping everything. I always love to keep certain things here and there just to fill in the void, which it does very well in there with the turrets that I've put down. Now let's have a look at the rest of the settlement. More of the corridor, more of the same. So a couple of boxes, another bed. This is like a coffee machine thing, so I've blocked off the dispenser thing and put some conduits on and above and connected it up to make it look like it's some kind of backup generator. Just a little detail, you know. And this is the little break area. This is where they have a drink, coffee, kind of a bite to eat. And some of you are wondering, who probably know this, you can't actually technically have settlers here. You can't put a settler's beacon down, but you can send settlers from other settlements. So there is a way around that. But I think Bethesda originally didn't want settlers coming here or randoms coming here because it is technically linked to the Brotherhood of Steel. And it wouldn't make sense for loads of randoms to come towards them. So it makes sense, I think. And yeah, just loads of magazines, cigars here and there, plates, little coffee making machine. And you're probably seeing a few items like this. There's some clean mugs and clean cans. There's a clean radios here and there. And you're probably wondering, where do you get these clean items from? You can get them in places like Vaults or the Institute. You can even find some items out in the wasteland. And there is quite a lot out there. You just need to start collecting them, and they're very good for a build like this, where the Brotherhood of Steel aren't necessarily going to have dirty mugs. Like, I think they have the facilities to keep everything clean, you know. Around here's a little canteen area. I've just put some potatoes and some meat, plates ready to go with cutlery, and yeah, they just can help themselves. The chair here with a table. Fortunately, you can't put a shop down in this settlement, again for the same reason that I just said. Probably. If that was the case, I probably would have tried to glitch it through this little desk area, which was already there actually. A little tea making area and a clean bar, and this is where they kind of get actual food, mostly fish, as we're next to the sea. And now the clean bar is from the vault section, so yeah, any clean furniture. Once you unlock the vault, it's yeah, you get items like this, just clean bits and pieces. Now when I placed this bed down, you have this like weird puddle effect that went over it. So I just, again, you adapt to the weird glitchy things that happen in this game. I'll just put a mop next to it just to make it look like we're about to clean it up. And back here is more of a paperwork type area,
Yes.
an office as you will. And in this corner is a manufacturing item that I've sunk all the way down and just used the top bit as a table. I did this in my Sunshine's co-op build. The top bit is just perfect for like a table, and it has a bit of colour. It's different. It's different to the tables that you've already got, you know. And it's a good height for a chair as well. Now you can't actually go through these doors. I think you can later on in the story, they do open, but for those who haven't played it before, I won't spoil anything. There is something in there. Down this way in this corner is a little scientific laboratory. I feel like that was relevant for an office, you know. A little coffee maker with some clean mugs. And as you can see, it's very nice and tidy, professional, plants everywhere. And back here are some broken terminals that were already here, but I've managed to glitch through working terminals within them. And using the pillar glitch, I managed to just fit it right in there, and it works with all of them, and I'm very, very pleased with this. I don't think I've seen this done before. And yes, you can actually go onto them, like so. And the settlers sit on it, like type away and stuff. I love it. I love this little idea. Really, really goes well with it. This is probably the only settlement you can do it in. I might try it with another one if I do come across it, but we'll see when that little hurdle comes. Now, some of you ask how I get these weapon boxes, and the trick with that is you need to drop, when you drop ammo, you need to drop 2 bullets at a time. That will just drop like a box full of ammo depending on the ammunition, you know. So let's have a look at the upstairs bit. And yeah, these platforms up there, I didn't put a lot. There are still some stuff like some cargo bits and some benches, a couple of boxes here and there. Now I placed these conduits on this rooftop purely just for decorational kind of thing. It does work out. I think it kind of makes it look a bit more kind of techy, you know. And up here we'll have a look at the platform first. These are metal kind of see-through barricades, so as I said earlier, it needs a bit of something. So I use these weapon racks for extra kind of defense. And they've all got these funny signs on, kill all mutants. I've even put a load of spare letters just to make it look like they're rearranging kind of funny notes here and there. We've got a spare minigun, a spotlight and a turret looking on this section. A couple of big flagpoles here. A little sign here saying don't miss. And yeah, we could see everything here. This is probably where most of the danger comes from. This section is day 6 of no kills. It hasn't been busy. I've not really seen much as of yet. And this section is Brotherhood of Steel and Proud, just looking over the sea here. And this one says fishy fish. I don't know. I just came up with it, you know. I even put a fishing rod as well, as we're quite close to the water. And there's even super mutants camped up there. So yeah, good target practice. Let's have a look at the last bit of the settlement. It's probably one of my favourite bits as well. Now, the section underneath the staircase, I didn't think it needed any clutter, so I just put a row of spotlights to light up the walls here. Yeah, I did put a couple of items on the edge either side, but yeah, I didn't think it needed anything. I do want to keep it nice and tidy, and I think it's done it justice. So I've managed to surprisingly put a lot of stuff up here. Loads of barricades and turrets. We've got Paladin Dance here looking over the settlement. Perfect character for this type of build. Around to my right, I've used the same sofas as the ones behind just to blend it in a bit more. We've got a turret, loads of boxes and ammo. And I've managed to squeeze in the Vault-Tec security box. I wanted to put something big up here, but not too much, and I felt like this item was the perfect thing. So I just put a power ramen in here with just some tools. That's the best I can think of, really. Underneath is a fridge that was already there, knocked over, and I've put another turret with a couple of boxes. And behind me, this is where like the build line stops against this platform. So I just put like loads of scrappy armor bits on the sofa, sofas and weapons and ammo and a few power armors. It looked very empty for my liking, so that's the best I could do. And as we make our way all the way down there's actually a vertibird pad, and yeah, it links very well with my settlement. I think it's all worked out pretty well. I did find this settlement quite intimidating, I'm not going to lie, but I'm happy with it. This is their little compound, and occasionally my settlers wander off in the other section of the airport, which is what you want really. Again, it makes it feel like it's all linked. Yeah, anyways, that is the tour finished. I'm now going to show you some night shots. It's definitely one of my favourite settlements for the night time because the spotlights I put down makes it look like a really cool secure compound. I would say it looks proper intimidating along with the ship above it. There was only a couple of courtyards that I lit up more so than others, especially the engineering area and where the showers were, because the rest I didn't feel needed it. And yeah, you definitely need lights for the shower because you need to see what you're doing. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.